Welcome to part 2 of Purpose, Gifts, and Calling with Daniel Cole. Thank you so much for joining me again. And once again, please send a DM, send an email, send a message. Let me know if you have any questions, any topics you'd like us to discuss, any comments you might have about the podcast. I really do appreciate your feedback and what you guys think of the show. So I am looking forward to hearing back from you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed part 1 and do enjoy part 2 with Daniel Cole. Enjoy. Okay, so you mentioned that we should look for patterns in the things that we do consistently well. So once I've identified those and I've found my purpose, or maybe not my purpose, but the direction in which I should go towards my purpose, does that mean that that's the only thing I should do? Just now stay on this path where I'm just, God revealed to me that, hey, do a podcast, have conversations that people are not really having, so you can share the word with everyone else who doesn't know or who might not be easily attracted by the Bible or church, and just, do I then, because the confusion for me then becomes, am I gonna be doing this forever? Which you kind of touched on that a bit. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing forever, or do I just stay on the path that God said stay on and then just wait for him to direct me to where I'm supposed to go?
Good. Once you discover your purpose, that doesn't mean that is the only thing you will be doing or you will do for the rest of your life, okay? I believe I'm in a space where I'm living my purpose, but I still have my 8 to 5 job. I still have my 9 to 5 work routine. I still resume to work just like anybody else, okay? I still go out there to make money. I still go out there to, to work to do business, which may not have anything to do with writing or speaking or so. Once you identify what your purpose is, fine. That is the most important step. Then lean more towards that. Do something every day that amplify your purpose. Do something every day that encourages you to work or to live in that purpose you've discovered. But you cannot single-handedly shut down every part of you to say this is the only thing I'll be doing for the rest of my life. If people want to go into, if you discover your purpose is into ministry or God has called you to ministry and you felt so strongly that this is something you want to do full time, there is a grace for that. There is a grace available for that. But if you have not yet come to the stage of understanding the merchandise of your purpose, understanding how to trade your purpose for profit, I would say find other things to do while you are, living in your purpose, because you have a family to feed, you have a responsibility to take, you have a bill to pay, you need to make money. And until you come to the realization of, okay, how do I make profit from my purpose, I would say all other things your hands find doing, do it with all your might. I love writing, but I still work for a company that has nothing to do with writing at all. In fact, writing is like word and opposite. I oversee a company that does something completely opposite, but that doesn't mean I'm not functioning in my purpose. So purpose is something that stays with you for the rest of your life. You can change jobs, you can change vocation, but you don't change purpose. So once you discover what you are good at, amplify it. Find time to do things in line with that purpose. And when the time is right, God will open doors, or God will, God is a God of progression from stage 1 to stage 2, from stage 2 to stage 3. But don't stay numb don't lose grip of your real design. Don't lose grip of of God's design for your life while you pursue all other things. So purpose, once you discover the pattern in things you do well, that doesn't mean that is what you will do for the rest of your life. God will bring you opportunities. Life will bring you opportunities along the way. Some you will embrace and some you won't embrace. But as you journey through life, you need to learn how to create a balance. You don't lose grip of your real design, but at the same time, you don't shut yourself out from all other opportunities out there. Once you find what you are good at, that doesn't mean that is the only thing you will do for the rest of your life. Life comes in series, life comes in phases, and each phase you have to embrace it, even with their differences and with their similarities.
I mean, the ideal would be to find your purpose and make money doing your purpose. That'll be so awesome. That's what
That
I
would be
pray
good.
for always. But
That
yeah,
would be
we
good.
still gotta eat. We still gotta, do all these things. So going back to the whole focus of this, well, the first season of the podcast is relationships. And in the devotional, you mentioned something that I'd never heard before, and it kind of confused me a little bit. So I didn't
Okay.
really think that my purpose involves other people, right? So in the devotional, you mentioned that our gifts, potentials, and brilliance are not enough to fulfill God's call on our lives, and that we need people and the right relationships to fulfill that. How do other people fit into my purpose? And like, it's my purpose. Well, why? And how do I also like make sure that since other people fit into it, how do I then make sure that it's the right people and it's not just any person?
I love it when you say, "Is my purpose." Like
It's
we've tried.
mine, yeah.
You see, Manaka, God's model for creation is interdependency. Sorry for the big
Mm,
word, but that's the like the perfect word to describe it. Interdependency. I mean, take for example, look at what we are doing right now. We're recording a podcast, right? Look at all the devices and the technicalities involved in
mm,
making this a reality. I'm sitting in front of a computer designed by a company by I don't even most of the people that designed this computer, I may not meet them for the rest of my life. We are using a platform called Zoom, designed by somebody else. You are going to post this podcast on another platform designed by somebody else. Somebody is going to listen to that podcast on a device designed by somebody else. So you see how different people, different innovation, different companies come together just to make one vision a
mm,
reality. It
mm,
is one thing to have good things to say, thank God, but you need the platform to amplify your voice. You need a platform to amplify the message God has given to you. No matter how good I sound, no matter how good you sound, Manaka, it is pointless if we can't post this anywhere. It is pointless if there is no
mm,
platform where people can hear this. But that platform is not designed by me, it's not designed by you, it's designed by somebody else,
mm,
living its own purpose. So, and that is the way God created the world. Life is created to that things will work interdependently with one another. All right. So let me give you two case study in the Bible. We have Moses, right? So one of the design for Moses' life was to liberate the people of Israelites from the wilderness, from the land of bondage. But Moses had one defect. Moses was a stammerer. Before
mm.
Moses could pronounce the word God, 10 minutes has gone, 20 minutes has gone.
I'm so sorry, Moses, for laughing.
Just the word God. Brother Moses,
Yeah.
20 minutes to pronounce that. But God said, your lack of eloquence will not be a deterrent
Mm,
for fulfilling your purpose. And what did God do? He brought him Aaron, to compensate for his lack of speech or lack of eloquence. That is relational alignment. That is
mm,
people functioning in a space for your gift to find expression. So without Aaron, I imagine Moses in front of Pharaoh saying, God asks you to set the Israelite. And I'm trying to paint a picture in my head how long it will take Moses to say, God asks you to set the Israelites free. Like I don't want to dramatize it right now, but I'm just picturing Moses saying that for 30 minutes. Like I'm
mm.
standing in front of a king. I only want to say, God asks you to set the Israelites free. It's less than 10 words.
Yeah.
But imagine Brother Moses saying that for 30 minutes. I will have
Mm,
fallen
mm,
asleep
mm.
before he finished saying it. But God saw that and he brought him Aaron to speak for him.
Mm,
The flip side of that is this. Look at Samson. Samson was a very mighty man, a mighty man of valor. In fact, God designed Samson to fight the Philistine, to take out the reproach of the Israelites from the Philistine. He was a Nazarite. He was designed with strength and vigor. Samson was designed to fulfill a destiny, but he got it wrong when it comes to relationships, right? One of the rules of a Nazarite is that you don't marry a Philistine. You don't marry from your opposition. But Brother Samson was, physically strong, but intellectually low. He was physically strong, but spiritually dumb. So he aligned himself with people that should not be in part with the destiny upon his life. And that is the beginning of his downfall. So marrying a person, aligning yourself with a person that is not in line with the design of God for your life is the beginning of the end of Samson's life. So one relationship with Moses helped him fulfill his destiny. Another relationship with Samson make him finish his destiny prematurely. So God has designed everybody to work with people, to function with people, but you and I need to be very meticulous about who are those people and, relational alignment is very, very important. You can't associate with everybody. Not everybody can journey with you. Not everybody can live that life God has destined you to live with you. And you need to choose your association unapologetically. You don't have to be apologetic about who you choose to work with and who you choose not to work with. It's your destiny, it's your purpose. So relationships are very crucial to fulfilling your vision. Like I said before, this podcast is a podcast, but without other platforms, it's just a podcast that nobody will listen to. So we need,
and without the people that I have conversations with as well.
Exactly. So that is how God designed the world. If you can do it all by yourself, it's not a vision from God. It's not a purpose of God. If you can do it all alone, then that is just a goal you made up overnight. It's just a dream. Unless somebody needs to come in, then you know that this is from God. If you can do it all by yourself, forget it. It's not something. It's not from God. It's not from God. You need people. You need partnership. You need people to work with you in the fulfillment of God's dream for your life. You can't fulfill purpose in isolation. You can't do it by yourself. I think I said it somewhere. Until people give up the willingness to take the credit for their own dream, until then, your vision and dream will start finding expression. Until you are willing to let go of who get the credit, then your voice is starting to find expression. So we need to know who to work with. Relational alignment is very, very critical if you are going to live the purpose God has destined you for. But you need to be very strategic about it. Not everybody can journey with you. Not everybody that will journey with you for the rest of your life. You need to understand the seasons of people in your life, the seasons of people in your dream, the seasons of people in your purpose, and when to, call them short or call them off. So all of those things are very critical.
I totally agree, because I did try to start the podcast last year, actually, which no one might know that, because I tried to do it by myself. I kept it so closed off, and I wanted to have the conversation by myself, and I didn't want to share with anyone. And it was such an epic fail, because I was not sharing with anyone. But then when I tried it the second time, before I began, I shared with people the community that I had, the dream that I have, and they prayed with me. And then they also started adding ideas, putting an input. And I don't think it would be where it is now if it wasn't for other people. And also letting go, like you said, letting go of the credit being all mine. Because first of all, it's not about me. One thing I've learned in this Christian walk is that it's never about you. You're not here for you. you here for the other people and to do the work that God has placed you to
Yeah.
do in this
Yeah.
earth. So just in closing, do you have any last thoughts to encourage those that are feeling lost and are seeking to know what their place in the world is? Someone who feels like, they feel out of place.
I just want to say, if you don't know what your purpose is at this moment, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up.
Mm,
Um, but be intentional about looking for it. Be intentional about finding it. Be intentional about seeking the face of God to know why you are here and His intention, for your life. You don't want to. We don't want to get to heaven uh, only for God to say, you know what, you live a very good life, but that wasn't the life I designed for you.
mm,
That wasn't the life, I called you for. That wasn't my giftings on your life. You live a life playing to the gallery. You live what people expect you to live, not what I really want you to live.
mm,
So when we live life with the end in mind, it's kind of make us sit down and focus on what we are doing and where we are heading. So if at a stage of your life you realize that this is not something you are called to do, it's okay, but pray about it. Speak to people about it. Ask your friend about it. Let your friend. Sometimes we don't see things clearly until we speak to people, around us. So let's
yeah.
let your friends speak to you. Ask them, do you think I'm good at this? Do you think this is something I'm created to do? And once you find it, stay consistent, because consistency is very, very important in fulfilling your purpose. It is one thing to discover your gift, but if you don't stay consistent at it, at a point you lose momentum.
Mm,
And once you lose momentum, it will be very difficult to pick yourself back up. The most difficult part is inertia, starting. But once you start, you need consistency to keep going. They say that the most difficult part of a plane is taking off. Once the plane is up there, it can fly by itself on autopilot. But it is that taking off that is the most difficult part of. In fact, you only need a plane for taking off and for landing. When the plane is on the air, the plane can fly itself. So those are the most critical stages of every man's life. You're starting, you're finding your purpose. But once you find it, be consistent. Whatsoever season you are in right now, be mindful of the end in mind. Seek out your purpose. If you don't know what it is, take intentional steps in looking for it. Don't put your life on hold looking for your purpose.
mm.
Whatsoever your hands find doing, as the Ecclesiastic says, do it with all your might. Whatever season you are in, embrace it, but don't lose grip of what your real purpose is. Thank you, Manaka.
So good. So, but what I take from this conversation is that God doesn't give us the full picture. He gives us bits and pieces, and He gives us gifts that we should refine and work on, that will then lead us it will lead us on the right path. And God did say that He will guide our steps. But when we're on His path, will eventually get to see where we are to go. And even if we don't know our purpose, it's okay, because now we know that we have to go and ask the creator, the manufacturer of that 4x4. He knows how he made the car and he knows the purpose for it. So don't go ask the i10 maker, go ask the 4x4 maker and he will tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to the first place, which is the person who created you. He knows
Mm.
your purpose, he knows your function, he knows what you're supposed to do, he knows why he manufactured you, if I could use that term. So yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. I really, really appreciate this. It was so insightful. I feel like the whole purpose thing confused me for a very long time, because like I said in the beginning, my talent was my purpose. And I mean, you placed this talent in me, that's my purpose. And I didn't even do the work of trying to find out what I'm supposed to do with that purpose. All I knew was, you gave me this talent, this is my purpose, and thank you, bye, I got this, you know, and also trying to do it with my own might. And I strive so much, because when you do it yourself, the grace is not there. You just winging it on your own. So thank you so much. I definitely believe that God has used this platform to teach people a lot of things, and I'm very certain that a lot of people learned a lot from this conversation. I did too. So thank you so much, Daniel. It's so appreciated.
Thank you, Manaka. And again, it's such a pleasure and honor to be on your podcast. And I can't wait to see, the influx of testimonies, not just only from this talk show, but from the, preceded one you've done, and how God is going to use this to change people's lives. So,
all right, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I hope you guys have been helped. And you guys appreciate Daniel coming through just like I do. I learned so much. So please send a voice note, send a DM, send an email, send a WhatsApp. Just let me know if you have any questions, any topics that you would like me to talk about, any speakers you'd like to come back, or any suggestions you might have. Even if you're thinking of like someone who's like all big, we'll pray for him. God will bring him here and we'll talk to him. Thank you so much, guys. So from me and Daniel, it's goodbye, and see you in the next episode. Bye.